too mature.
No.
Oh,
I'm just reversing my shirt.
you're reversing your shirt, Ben?
Yeah.
You going shirtless?
I thought he was. I was about to get excited.
Whoa. Oh, okay. I just want to make sure
You don't
he was
wanna see
not
me
going
like
shirtless here. Ben, you proposed a bet of me shaving my head. I'm going to propose a different bet to you. If the Ohio State Buckeyes lose to the Short Cowgirls, then if that happens, I will wear a Texas t-shirt, and every 30 minutes during that week of that week's show, I'll say "Hook 'em horns." And if I win, Ohio State wins, then you guys will wear an Ohio State t-shirt saying "Go Buckeyes" on every 30 minutes of that week's show.
I think I'll say Michigan sucks.
I think
you could say Michigan sucks. Yeah, definitely.
Oh no, it's okay. I'll say go Buckeyes. It's fine.
I could say go Buckeyes. As long as you're not having me say anything about Boomer Sooner or anything like Bama related. Gig 'em.
Yeah.
I'm good. You know?
Guns up.
Yeah. No. Horns up though. You know? That's what's up.
Oh man, damn, that's so funny. Anyway,
well, in that case, 4th and 10U, everybody.
Yeah. Well, in that case, everybody, let's get this party started.
Welcome to 4th and 10U, the home of college football for everyone. Whether you're a die-hard fan who lives for Saturdays or just getting into the game, you're in the right place. Hit that subscribe button and join the team. This is 4th and 10U, where every play is a chance to make history.
And just like that, we made history. We're back again. Another week of college football talk here on 4th and 10U. Do us a favor. Make sure you hit the like button. Subscribe if you're new, right? Turn on the notification bell. right? Get ready because we're going to talk some college football. We're breaking down the Big 12 today. Are the Big 12 dominant? That's the big question. Meanwhile, I got two chairs, two guys, one mic. What's up, Mike on the mic? How you guys doing?
What's up, dude? I was laughing because Ben was playing my wiener, and then I see my headline here, and I'm like, damn.
You explain yourself? He's playing what? Oh man.
He was playing with the same wiener Shake was talking about.
It's 2025. You gotta excuse me. I apologize.
Come here, sassy.
Now let's show everybody the wiener for real. Not literally, but you know what I mean. Aw, look how cute she is.
Wiener dog.
She's not getting any bigger, dude. I'm kind of disappointed. I didn't want an overgrown rat, but she is sweet.
You didn't want an overgrown wiener dog. Those are cute. They're really cute. Shout out to Mike.
I have one overgrown wiener. I don't need another one.
That's what she said.
I hope.
Oh man. Oh man. All right. Enough of this sassiness talk. All right. This is supposed to be a family show. Let's keep it moving. Yes, tonight we're gonna be talking about the Big 12. Are they dominant? Is there a dominant team that's gonna come out of the Big 12? We're gonna break them down tonight. It's gonna be interesting. I got some things to talk about. I have a dark horse favorite. I don't know why. I just kind of like this team. I think that every year they kind of gave Texas a run for their money before they left the Big 12. So we'll definitely talk about them. But before we get into that, does the cleat fit? This is how we start every episode. If you didn't know, shout out to, and we're going to continue to give you information about Alzheimer's and Dementia Awareness Month, right? Shout out to alz.org. Check them out, right? ALZ.org, if you haven't been there, their whole purpose is to lead voluntary health organization in Alzheimer's care, support, and research. Their vision is a world without Alzheimer's and all other dementia, right? Alzheimer's Association leads the way to end Alzheimer's and all other dementia by accelerating global research, driving risk education and early detection, and maximizing quality care and support. They work on a national, local level to provide care and support for all others affected. They provide research as the largest nonprofit funder in Alzheimer's research. The association is committed to advancing vital research toward methods of treatment, prevention, and ultimately a cure. And they advocate. The association is the leading voice for Alzheimer's disease advocacy, fighting the critical Alzheimer's research and care initiatives at the state and federal levels. Check out alz.org if you want to donate, get involved, want to know about research, find out more about what they provide, how people that may be suffering from Alzheimer's or dementia, how they can benefit. Definitely check out alz.org. Shout out to them. Mike, do you have any thoughts about that before we continue?
No, I mean, it's same thing I said last week. It touches close to home, so I'm glad we're bringing awareness to it. If you don't know anything about it, get educated. It's a nasty situation that a family gets into when something like that happens to one of their loved ones.
Definitely, 100%. I agree with that. I'll tell you from personal experience, being a caregiver as well as having a family member be a caregiver for someone that actually has Alzheimer's or dementia, it is not a pretty thing to deal with. It's like every day going through the same exact conversation over and over again. In some cases, there's a lot more involved with it. It is very mentally draining, if you want to say. Like your mental health can be broken very easily. So shout out to all the caregivers. And shout out to alz.org. They really are trying to be the advocates. And like you said, if you don't know about Alzheimer's or dementia, get educated, go to alz.org and check it out. Again, we're second week with our special guest, Ben. How you doing, sir? How you been?
I'm doing all right. I've been good,
Ben
has been good.
Been all right.
I think that's a new word I'm going to use. How are you doing? I've been good. Been good. Good.
Been chilling.
Been good.
Been. Where
What
you
is
been,
it?
Ben?
What does it say on your hat? What's your hat say?
Western Apparel, I believe.
We. Interesting.
It's just a rodeo brand,
A Western rodeo hat
Western.
in Texas. Who would have thunk it?
Wow.
Yeah, well, if you don't know, the best dressed Texan with the biggest hat used to be this man right here, Mike on the mic, in the early days, wearing a big Texas hat. I miss those days. People are asking me, when are you going to bust out the shirt and hat, man? I want to know.
I don't know. I might have to bring it out for an anniversary episode or something.
The whole, was it
I had a bolo and a Victorian vest, a cowboy hat, whole nine. It was fun.
He had a different shirt every show he did, too, in fact. So those were the good old days. But
pretty good.
Yeah, definitely. Let's break it down. The Big 12, if you didn't know, it's comprised of 16 teams, right? 16 teams. The top tier favorites are Arizona State and Kansas State, right? Some strong contenders in that division also includes BYU, Texas Tech, Baylor, right? You have other teams like Arizona, Colorado, Utah's in that division. West Virginia,
Oklahoma
I think,
State,
is there.
Houston.
UCF. Mm-hmm. Let's not forget UCF.
Oklahoma State.
Oklahoma State. Oklahoma's there. Isn't Texas
No,
Tech?
Oklahoma's SEC.
Oh, that's right. They recently came from the Big 12, though, right?
TCU and Texas Tech are Big 12.
Texas Tech. Yeah, that's about everybody, I think. Am I missing anybody?
Let me hijack. No, but let me hijack the. Oh yeah, you are. You're missing some. Really...
Baylor, Iowa State.
Baylor.
Iowa. Yeah. Houston.
Iowa. We forgot Iowa. But I'm gonna hijack this segment because I want to talk about the reason I like the Big 12 is the amount of quarterbacks they have. So ESPN recently put out a tiered quarterback list, and on tier 2. They've got Sam Levitt out of Arizona State, Sawyer Robinson out of Baylor, and Rocco Becht out of Iowa State. Then if you go to tier 3, they've got Baron Morton at Texas Tech and Josh Hoover at TCU. And then they also have Jalen Daniels at Kansas. So in the top 3 tiers, they have 6 quarterbacks that are considered to be really, really good. The Big 12's got a deep quarterback conference. Then you got the guys coming in at Colorado. You don't know about any other new recruits or freshmen that are going to be in. But the Big 12 right now is loaded at QB. And I mean, Arizona State made it. They gave Texas everything they could have behind Sam Levitt. Iowa State was knocking on the door if Arizona State hadn't gotten it. Kansas State, you already mentioned them. Baylor's got a good quarterback. The Big 12 is really it's going to be a fun conference to watch. I think you're going to see, it's going to be a typical no defense conference, but it's going to be I'm excited about it. It's the Big 12. Texas used to be in it, and it was something, it's near and dear to my heart down here in Texas. Mm-hmm. But as far as the talent in this conference at the QB position, it's one of the deeper conferences in college football when it comes to the QB.
Yeah, I definitely agree with you. I'm a big fan of Avery Johnson. I think he's going to have maybe a big year this year, so we'll definitely see.
Yeah, I mean, and he may be on. Let's see. I didn't even go down to tier 4. No, let's see, tier 5. No, that's all they really got for as far as I do like him though. He's going to be fun to watch too. Avery Johnson right there. He's in tier 6.
Very interesting. Very interesting. Who are the top 2 QBs in that conference? Who are the top 2?
Sam Levitt and Sawyer Robinson.
Sam Levitt's from Arizona State. And who's
Sawyer
the other
Robinson's
one
from Baylor?
Baylor.
Sawyer Robinson from Baylor.
Sawyer Robinson.
He caught fire towards the end of the season last year.
Yeah, I'm just kind of a Kansas State fan. Quietly, Kansas State fan. I kind of like what their program brings. They always seem to me to be the underdogs of your, of the Big 12. So that's why I kind of like.
That goes all the way back to Darren. That goes all the way back to Darren Sproles' days. Kansas State they always played the role of upset king back when Chris Sims, Major Applewhite barely had to come in to bail out Texas against Kansas State. Will Howard was a fourth down or a 2-point conversion away from beating Texas. Kansas State, they always you never know what they're going to get, but what you do know you're going to get is a hell of a game every time. So Kansas State's a fun team to watch for sure.
Yeah, so that's kind of like why I'm glad we're talking about the Big 12. So that being said, let's break down. Let's actually go down. Let's see here. Let's talk about some of the teams, right? Colorado, we know what they have. They got Coach Prime, right? This is a transition year. They don't have Travis Hunter anymore. They don't have Shedeur Sanders. They don't have some of their other wide receivers that they had, right? So they did get a defensive tackle, Jaheim Otis. There, I know they're having a little bit of a QB challenge going on in Colorado. What do you think of them? Do you think they're gonna? Did they do anything to move the needle to take them to the next level, or is there like that still mid-tier team that's going to be in the middle of the road still?
In that conference, I think they're middle of the road. I don't think they're going to get to 8 wins, maybe 7 wins and put themselves in the top 6. But I mean, you got Arizona State, Iowa State, TCU, Baylor, Texas, not Texas Tech. But those 4 teams alone and Kansas State's probably going to finish ahead of them. So they could be a top 6 if they get to 7 wins. But I think it's going to be a very top heavy. Well, actually, I think it's going to be a really good conference. A lot of the teams are going to get to bowl eligibility, but overall, I think it's going to be they'll be 5th or 6th.
Very interesting. Very interesting. What do you think about that team that Country Roads Take Me Home to a Place I Belong, West Virginia?
They're it's West Virginia, bunch of mountain men. So I don't know. They didn't do anything that caught my attention. Not saying that they didn't do anything, but they didn't do anything that caught my attention last year or in the portal. So maybe I'll go out on a limb and say they finished 8th.
Well, West Virginia, if memory serves me right, last year they had a lot of returning players, right? They had I'll go ahead and say it. They had some talent on that team. I just don't think they could ever put it together. That's the problem. The other thing is that their running back transferred to Ohio State recently. That guy's a big boy, by the way.
Of course, he has to bring it back to Ohio State.
Damn, you've been talking about Texas left and right. You're not allowed to talk about. Okay, whatever.
I haven't said anything about Texas except for the many schools in Texas. Come on now.
I'm talking about West Virginia right now, and I'm telling you about the players they had last year, right? Yeah. I'm talking about what I know of them. So some things that I just kind of thinking about West Virginia. Rich Rodriguez returns Big 12 coaches as a split on expectations. Some bullish, others cautious, right? Also, we'll switch it to a different team. University of Central Florida. This is Scott Frost's second stint as coach, if memory serves me right.
Yeah. Didn't he go to Nebraska?
He went to Nebraska originally.
From UCF, right?
Yeah. It was funny. UCF ended up being undefeated with him, and he just jumped ships and goes to Nebraska. Doesn't do anything.
Yeah,
there.
but he played at Nebraska. That's why he went there.
I get you. I just think that he was building something with UCF originally, and he jumped ship way too soon. That's just where I think of it. I think the expectations there is low, but they're looking to rebound, right? So that's just some food for thought when it comes to this what do I want to say? This conference. What about rivalries? Are there any big time rivalries in this conference?
Not anymore.
Not anymore. No.
I mean, TCU and Tech.
Yeah.
Well, I was going to say
TCU and Tech
and TCU, the Saddle Trophy. There's the Saddle Trophy. What about the Sunflower Showdown? Kansas versus Kansas State.
Yeah. I mean, in state, that's a big one.
Yeah.
What about
I just
here's another one. Here's another one. And I apologize, Ben. I'm sorry. Go ahead. I'll let
no,
you go.
you're good. No, you're good.
Um,
I just think that uh with a rivalry, the bigger rivalries are not necessary. I mean, okay, I just might eat my words here because you got Texas A&M and Texas, but other than that, our other rivalry is OU. And it would be that's the Red River rivalry.
And that used to be Oklahoma State's biggest rivalry too. The Big 12 rivalries, as far as like scaled on how big they are anymore.
Man.
Yeah, they're just not. There's no hate there anymore. All the teams that used to be there: Nebraska, Texas, Texas A&M, Texas Tech, Oklahoma State. And then you had West Virginia and Kansas State and Kansas was a laughing stock for a long time. But as far as like big time rivalries, I think Texas Tech and anytime you pin two schools from the same state together, so Texas Tech, Baylor, TCU, all of those three schools, they don't like each other. So those are good sized rivalries, and Texas Tech is a party college, so I imagine that's one of their bigger ones now too. But
I agree.
yeah, it's I don't know if there's any real big rivalries in the Big 12 anymore.
Let me ask you this though. I know it's not quite a rivalry in the Big 12 anymore, but does Oklahoma State still play Oklahoma?
Yeah, it's still the Bedlam Bowl. I don't know if they're going to keep playing, but they play. I'm pretty sure they play. No, they may have stopped it.
Have
just
they?
like the. No, I don't know. I can't remember because I thought they played last year. I just
too.
can't remember.
Yeah, I would hope they would keep those type of rivalry games still going because they're big, regardless of what conference it is or whatever. I still think those are big games.
Yeah, man. But when Texas and OU were in the Big 12, that came down to national championship and Big 12 championship every year. And then Oklahoma State for a lot of years is the same way. Like the Big 12 used to have some big time conferences that had an effect on the national stage. They just don't have those anymore.
So before we get to who we think the real contenders are, is there a dark horse in this conference that you think that can give people a run for their money that teams aren't really expecting?
TCU.
TCU.
Are they really? State. Are they really a dark horse anymore? I mean, TCU's been there. They
only got like 5 or 6 wins last year,
and they didn't really make it to the national championship.
When was the last time they were in the college football playoff? That was more recent years.
Yeah, but
right?
They shouldn't have been there against Georgia, anyways. I mean, it was just because they won.
It was Max Duggan. Yeah, it was his year.
Okay, so no love for the Frogs. I get it.
No, I definitely think they're a dark horse, though.
Do you think they're a dark horse? Okay.
Between them and Baylor is my guess as far as like a team that could ruin the party.
I think
Baylor always has these crazy athletes. Have you guys noticed that over recent years? I want to say there was a Baylor wide receiver that was super fast, and then there was
he's in
face mask.
Oh, dang it! I wish I could have said his name. I'll remember in a little bit.
And then they had a corner recently that was really fast and everything. It seems like every year I'm hearing something about Baylor recently. So shout out to those guys.
Well, don't sleep on that story, Robertson, too. Like both of those schools, the reason they're sleeper for me is their quarterback play.
Now, does Big 12 have a championship game?
Yes.
Okay.
No, yes, because Arizona State played Iowa State.
Okay. The reason I'm asking is because I know at one year there was controversy because Baylor was trying to get into the college football playoff, and because they didn't have the championship game, people were questioning if they belonged or not.
Freak athletes.
Just
Baylor.
The Baylor. That's Sean Oakman. I don't know if any of y'all remember him, but he went viral for that picture right there.
You want to see a freak athlete, though? You guys want to see? Go look at DJ Metcalf when he was at Ole Miss.
Yeah, him and AJ Brown standing next to each other.
Those guys were sitting there cut and ripped.
Wild.
There's another guy that put out pictures recently that people are saying looks like he got ripped and cut really bad, but I'm not allowed to bring or talk about that team or bring that up. So
Jeremiah Smith.
No, that's not who I'm talking about.
He's talking about Luka.
No, that's not who I'm talking about either.
Who are we talking about?
Who?
He plays for the Arizona Cardinals now.
Oh, Marvin Harrison Jr.
Yeah,
Okay.
have you seen the pictures of him recently? That guy looks.
Yeah, he's gonna have a
I
breakout
was
second year.
questioning if he roided up. To be honest, I was like, did he roid up or something? He
looks
looks
like
ripped.
it.
He looks ripped. Anyway, that being said, all right. So we know who the dark horses are. I don't think Kansas State is going to really compete for the championship this year of the Big 12.
Okay.
But in my opinion, I think that they should always be considered a dark horse because it always seems like they're the underdog, coming to surprise you. Even when Skylar Thompson was the quarterback for Kansas State, they surprised people. He had a hell of a game against LSU. I don't think they won that game, but regardless of it, it was that that he actually gave them a run for their money. And in addition to it, I think we're looking at Avery Johnson. He's still young. You know what I mean? I think he needs to get another year under his belt. They have some juniors and redshirt freshmen that are starting to play starting roles now. So I think they should be considered a dark horse personally. But I'm going to go with it and say my first contender is going to be Arizona State. I think they're going to try to repeat. They'll go 100%. That's what I'm thinking. What do you think the number 2 team is going to be? Iowa State.
Iowa.
I like Iowa State. I do like Iowa State. They always have a good, strong defense. They know how to defend over there.
Well, they got a returning decent quarterback too.
That too. That's true also. So I definitely agree with that.
I like the coach at Iowa State. I can't remember his name right now, but I really like him.
The coach at Iowa State.
He made them a tough team from the jump when he first got there, and they're fun to watch. And he's a young coach. I think he's like 36, 37.
Oh, you're talking about God, what's his name? Matt Campbell, I think.
Maybe.
Is it Matt Campbell?
I can't remember.
Let me look it up.
But he's fun to watch. Animated coach.
It is Matt Campbell. Yeah.
Yeah, I like him.
Yeah, he's only 45. He's like the same age as me. He's only 45 years old. So
so he's old.
He's not old. Oh, damn, dude. Damn. I know I got the gray hair and everything, but that's really because of my Irish side. But damn, jeez.
You love me.
On Thursdays, yeah. No, I'm just kidding. Just kidding, bro. I'm just kidding. All right. So yeah, Iowa State, I can see that. You have any different thoughts, Ben?
I think I mean, honestly, I could even see Iowa State being one and Arizona being two, but that's probably just because, I like to play devil's advocate every once in a while. I do think TCU would be interesting to knock off one of the two for sure. I think it'd be a very fun season to see. I mean, TCU, Baylor, whoever would be. Oh, I mean, dude, I would love to see Oklahoma State come back and win it this year. Like that would be amazing. They could be, in my opinion, they should be a dark horse, not because of the team they have, but because of who they've been before.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, if we're gonna make Kansas State a dark horse, like for that instance, we could throw OSU in there because of who they've been before. But I would love to see neither of those teams be the number one and number two, and just have total let's mix it up completely and see something different this year. But I am gonna have to say it's Arizona and Iowa.
Okay. Speaking of Oklahoma State, shout out to them. They've over the past 2 years, I want to say it was not so much last year, but the year before that, they had a very dominant running game. In fact, their running back led the NCAA, and I really felt that he deserved, to be a Heisman finalist and everything that year because he was really unstoppable. The Ollie Gordon, all right, very big running back. Guy has the most softest hands I've ever seen. Like catches the ball like it's so natural, right? And I think he's one of those running backs that he could catch it and take it at any moment. Do you think Oklahoma State is going to bring back that dominant run game? Is there a possibility for that? Like, what do you think about where they stand in the mix of things?
I mean, I think
I'd like to see it. I don't think it's gonna happen though.
no. I mean, Oklahoma State they're notorious for it. They've had running backs, or they've had running back production for quite a few years. To me, for Oklahoma State, it's always dependent on the quarterback play. If the quarterback can at least make them respect the pass, then Oklahoma State usually has really good rushing games, running backs in general as far as production. But I don't know if they're going to. It's such a pass heavy league. There's no dominant defenses, and so I think that if they do get back to running the ball, they're going to lose some games. They're just going to get outscored.
Mm.
I don't think the Big 12 is a running back conference anymore. There's been some good ones, but there hasn't over the last 2 years. But there hasn't been anybody that I mean the Brees Hall types. There hasn't been anybody studly in a minute. But I mean they had Scattaboo, but I don't like him at Arizona State. But yeah, I don't know. I just think the Big 12 is going pass heavy, and so I don't know if Oklahoma State will ever get back to the running dominance they used to have.
Very, very interesting. I was looking at who their quarterback is at Oklahoma State, Zane Flores. Interesting name. I also, was looking at some of the other people they have. They have a kid over there, wide receiver, Christian Fitzpatrick. There was something I was reading about him. I know he was a transfer. He went to Marshall originally.
He was a trans.
He's a transfer student. Bro, I'm gonna have to put the mature rating on this show already. I already know it. I want to say he's a transfer student because isn't he the guy from Marshall that like against Ohio State and some of the other teams was catching like Randy Moss style balls, like one-handed catches?
Wow. The name doesn't ring a bell. You could be right. I just don't know.
I want to say it was last year. Let me look that up real quick.
I think Ben's about to pop.
What happened?
Ben's about to pop. He's laughing so damn hard.
Damn.
Hey, I love this shirt, dude.
My shirt?
Yeah, late night exhale. That's dope, bro.
Yeah, if you guys don't know, check us out on the Finn's Tailgate every Saturday night. We have a show now called Club Exhale. It's late night exhales show. It's a completely different vibe. We talk about all sports. We play a lot of good music, so it's more like a dance club. There's drinks, all that kind of stuff. You got to be 21 or older to drink. Don't forget that. Yeah, it's a lot of fun. It was really wild this past Saturday. I want to say we had three giveaways that we had. And we had over $500 in donations. It was pretty fun. It was a lot of fun. I'm looking up real quick though, Christian Fitzpatrick, because if he's the guy that I'm thinking of, they might be. You're definitely right on the what do they call it? How they're moving more to a pass heavy. Pass heavy team, and it is the guy I'm talking about. This guy had like two of the most unbelievable catches last year. For Mark, it was ridiculous. Like where it looks like he's walking. Obviously, he's running, and he just sticks his hand in the air, just catches the ball like it's nothing. He did it against Ohio State once, and he did it against somebody else so bad. Everyone was saying, "Oh, he's the next Randy Moss," or whatever. It's cool. Now he's at a bigger program, Oklahoma State. I'm kind of excited to see what they do with him, to be honest. So he's something to think about. Any final thoughts about the Big 12 before we move on?
No. Like I said, I think it's gonna be a deep conference. I think you could have 5 or 6 teams get to I'd venture to say you probably have 6 or 7 teams that get to 6 wins, bowl eligible. But I think you'll have 4 at least that are to 7, 8 wins. So it'll be another competitive. It's a fun conference to watch, even if you don't root for any of the teams, because I mean, they were until the last week of the season. The top two were undetermined. I think you
Yeah.
had 4 teams vying for the top position in the final 2 weeks. Colorado was one of them.
Yeah, that's true. I kind of want to end the Big 12 talk on this note here about Joey McGuire. There was an article written that was saying that he's embracing the pressure to win at Texas Tech, right? So
Yeah, I like him too.
Head coach Joey McGuire has been a success in his first 3 seasons. My prayers are with the family in Dade County whose child was abducted. So my prayers are with them. Hopefully they find that child as quickly as possible. So I'm sorry about the interruption. Basically where I was saying is that in his first 3 seasons, he's had success at Texas Tech. He's gone 23-16, which is fairly good. And has taken the Red Raiders to a bowl game in each campaign. That's really good right there. So he's already on the right track. He's the second coach in Texas Tech history to have led the Red Raiders to a bowl game in his first 3 seasons. The other, none other than Mike Leach, who we talked about last week, being a Hall of Famer, right? We both agreed that he belongs there. One would think that would mean that Mike McGuire is sitting on the comfiest of seats heading into 2025. But the Red Raiders have been active in the NIL game as well as the transfer portal. Donors have apparently put up big money to keep Texas Tech chugging along in the new look Big 12, this article says. McGuire's, and they're saying because of this, the pressure is on McGuire. And McGuire says he feels it too. He goes on to say, it's time to win, McGuire told on 3 Sports. Is there more pressure this year? 100%. But I'd rather be in this situation. I'd rather be in a situation I'm in than being the guy who's like, man, we have a lot of stuff on our way, or we have to have a lot of stuff go our way. So basically, he's saying that he would rather be in this situation than sitting there and be like, man, we have to do a lot just to make things work for us, right? What do you guys think about that? What do you guys think about what he said?
I mean, if you've had success 3 seasons in a row, I think that builds pressure no matter where you are, because then they're expecting more. So I think he's right. I'd rather be a team that has the pressure on them because they've had success than the team that has pressure on them because they've been failing. So yeah.
I mean, so that's the other thing. You know, we talked about the teams that we think are going to be competitive and whatnot. Texas Tech, you know, they're kind of acting like they got the pressure on them that they got to be competitive. They made back-to-back bowl seasons, right? You have a coach that, you know, is the second person to actually have that type of record in the first 3 seasons. And I know he's not Coach Leach, but you know, there's something to say. They're spending a lot of money. They're bringing in transfers. They're bringing in recruits and whatnot with NIL money. I'm going to say they're all in. You know, not all these teams are all in, and I think he's one of them. Right?
I agree.
We talked about teams like Colorado being a mid-tier team. They have the coach. They're all in on the coach, but they're not all in their recruiting and transfer game, in my opinion. You know what I mean? They're like,
I mean, they did get the number one.
Well,
they did get the number 1 recruit. They didn't get the number 1 quarterback recruit. So he's hitting the recruiting trail. I mean, he started. I mean, Dion started. Colorado was nothing but a transfer school in the beginning. Now they're actually recruiting. So
they're getting there.
I think that.
There.
Yeah.
But I still think there's a process that they have to go through.
Oh yeah.
Once you have that focus, right? It's really hard to go from one extreme to the other. But you know, I'm kind of excited to see what Texas Tech does, you know, this year. I really like to hear about the team come out of nowhere, and you know, like we already know Arizona State's probably going to be the one. Arizona or Arizona State, one of those two are really going to compete. You know what I'm saying? We know those teams are Baylor. We know the teams that are going to be competitive and whatnot. But every once in a while, there's this team out of nowhere that comes, I like to hear about it. And I think Texas Tech might be one of those teams too. This is going to be a very competitive conference. They may not all have like the 10 wins, 10-0 going in college football playoffs, but they definitely have the competitiveness to it.
Well, the depth of the conference is up there with the SEC as far as competitive teams for the conference. Maybe not for the national stage, but for the conference to win that conference, they're as deep as the SEC when it comes to teams that are capable.
Mm-hmm. I agree with that 100%. Any last thoughts on the Big 12? Anything else?
I think
Sassy had something to say.
I think they'll be better when they do find that rivalry, that big or not necessarily better, but more entertaining when they have that big rivalry, whether it's Texas Tech or Baylor, Texas Tech, TCU, Kansas State, whether it's one of those. Or like I said, if Ohio State, I don't know why I keep saying that. Oklahoma
I didn't
State.
say it. I want that on record. I didn't say it this
No.
time. Just gonna point that out.
Hook 'em, hook 'em. I gotta say hook 'em 3 times to erase what I said
Man,
about Ohio State.
every time he thinks of that
said it
team,
again.
every time he says my team's name, right? He's like, oh my God, it's like Candyman gonna come at me through the mirror or something.
But I think it'll be interesting for sure. I do
think-
want to see a nobody come out of nowhere in the Big 12 and do something.
I think
just
Ben
cool
hits on a good
underdog
point.
stories. Go ahead.
Yeah, and I think Ben hits on a good point. If Arizona can get back up there in the mix, and so Arizona State and Arizona matter. Kansas stays on the right track. Kansas State matters. The ability for the conference to grow its popularity after the split, it is going to take some rivalries. But as far as like for me, it's exciting to watch just because of how deep it is. I mean, there's so many schools that can win. So that's what I think it's a fun conference. I really do.
Yeah, I do think it's a fun conference. I remember they used to not get like all the love back in the day. Like before when it was Oklahoma dominance, they used to have the love, but then after Nebraska left and some of the other teams left, it was very very interesting. But yeah, man, great show, guys. Really appreciate it. Any final words, Ben?
Hook 'em, hook 'em, hook 'em.
Hook 'em. Are you going to
no,
be with us
I
next
think
week too?
that is up to y'all, I believe. If y'all want me to tag along for the next episode, I'm more than happy to
Yeah, definitely.
join.
Definitely. You're definitely welcome.
Hey, I don't want him back.
Oh, well, then there you go. I will go start my own podcast. Ollie, if you want to join me on that.
All right. Well, I don't mind making an appearance on your show. Well, I guess Mike on the mic has gone from 2 chairs to 1.5 chairs.
2 chairs, 1 guy, 1 mic. I like that better.
1 guy, 1 mic. What are you doing?
All right. Any
mic,
final
Mike?
thoughts, Mike, before we shut it down?
Nah, just that you're beautiful and I love your shirt.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. You can get my shirt at tftgnetwork.com, by the way, if you guys want to get this shirt. I'm going to point that out. But anyway, talk to y'all later. Make sure you hit the like button. Horns down, by the way, and I'll talk to you on the next one.
Yeah.
I'll have a great night.